Moms, how would you react if your teen daughter got pregnant? So listen, I'm doing laundry, minding my business, when my daughter storms in like she's being chased by the FBI. I ask, girl, what happened? She goes, Mom, promise you won't freak out. I already know that means I'm about to freak out. She's shaking, hiding something behind her back. I say, show me. She pulls out a pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. I swear, I saw my whole soul leave my body. I whisper, who? She says, you remember Marcus? Oh, I remember Marcus. The boy who came over once and called me ma'am like he's a polite little angel. That boy? The same boy who can't pass algebra but apparently passed biology just fine. I said, Lord, take me now. She starts crying. It only happened once. I said, once is literally how it happens. She's crying. I'm crying. Even the dog looks stressed. Then she says, please don't tell Dad. Girl, your dad's gonna figure it out when you start craving pickles at 3 a.m. Anyway, that night I try to keep calm. Her dad walks in all cheerful saying, what's for dinner? I say, regret. He looks confused. I tell him and he just freezes. Then slowly says, by who? I say, Marcus. Man threw his fork. Stood up like he's about to reenact an action movie. That boy who can't parallel park? He grabs his keys. I block the door. You're not going to jail today. He says, then call his mama. Oh, and I did. That woman came over in her slippers like, what's the emergency? I show her the test. She squints, says, could be a false positive. I say, then your son better pray that stick's lying. Marcus shows up 20 minutes later, holding a bag of hot Cheetos like this is a casual hangout. My husband looks at him and goes, son, do you have a job? Marcus says, I mow lawns sometimes. I said, you about to mow your whole future? We all sit down. The tension could cut steel. My daughter's sobbing. Marcus looks like he's about to faint. And my husband's just whispering to himself, Lord, give me strength not to commit crimes. And just as I'm trying to hold it together, my daughter looks up, eyes wide, voice shaking. She says, Mom, there's something I didn't tell you. And right there, everything stopped. My husband froze mid-breath. The air felt heavy. I asked, what do you mean something you didn't tell us? She stared at the table, biting her lip, hands trembling. I'm not 100% sure if it's Marcus. I blinked. My brain went blank. My husband? His soul left his body, went to heaven, came back for one last shout. Not sure? Girl, what you mean not sure? She starts crying harder. It might be Jason. Jason who? I yell. Jason from the track team? The one who always says yes ma'am, but smells like weed and Axe body spray? She nods. I put my hand on my chest. Lord, take me first. I can't do this. My husband slams his hand on the table so hard the salt shaker jumped. You mean to tell me I called Marcus's mama over here and it might not even be him? Marcus's mom goes, excuse me? And Marcus, poor boy, looks like he's about to pass out. It might not be me. Girl, I helped you with your math homework. My husband shouts, you helped her too much. Jason's name drops into that living room like a bomb. Marcus's mom grabs her purse like she's about to swing it. My son don't need this drama. We came here for truth, not Jerry Springer. She storms out, slamming the door. Marcus follows, yelling, I can't believe this, and nearly trips over the rug. Now it's just us 3. Me, my husband pacing, and my daughter sobbing into her hoodie. I'm trying to keep calm, but my voice starts shaking too. Baby, when? She says quietly, it was homecoming night. I close my eyes. Dear Jesus, give me patience. Her dad turns to me, whispers, we failed. I whisper back, no, you failed. I was the one teaching her safe choices while you were telling her to just trust her instincts. He glares, don't start this now, Tasha. Oh, I'm starting it, because you said she was too young for the talk, and now she's out here starting a family tree. He throws his hands up. Oh, so it's my fault she's got 2 potential baby daddies? I shout, it's both your genes. You raised a drama magnet. Our argument gets so loud that even the dog starts barking. My daughter yells, stop! I'm sorry, okay? I don't even know how it happened. Her dad yells back, you better figure it out before Maury does. She screams, it was one mistake. I shout, girl, that's what people say before lifetime consequences. She runs to her room crying. Door slam. Silence. For a moment, it's just the sound of my husband pacing and my heart breaking. I sit on the couch and whisper, she's still our baby. He sighs, rubbing his temples. Yeah, but I'm about to have a grandbaby from a love triangle. We sit there for a while, quiet. Then he says, we need to know the truth. I'm getting DNA tests. I look at him. How, honey? You gonna swab every teenage boy in the district? He points. I'll start with Jason. Next morning, Jason's mama gets a call. She comes over, hair in rollers, holding a coffee mug that says, don't mess with Mama Bear. She sits down, looks me dead in the eye, and says, if my boy's involved, we'll take responsibility. But if he ain't, y'all owe him an apology. I nod, already exhausted. Jason walks in behind her, nervous, polite, and absolutely terrified. My husband crosses his arms. So, Jason, anything you want to confess? Jason stammers, sir, I don't think it's mine. My husband says, you don't think or you don't know. Jason looks at my daughter, then the floor. We hung out once. It wasn't serious. My husband starts muttering something about teenagers and hormones ruining America. Jason's mom gasps, you told me you were playing video games. Jason shrugs. We did. Before. She smacks him upside the head so hard his earphones flew. Boy, you better pray she's lying. I have to stop myself from laughing because the chaos is unreal. Then my daughter blurts out, I just want to know who the father is, Mom. I don't even care anymore. I just want to know. And I see her face. Scared, tired, ashamed. Suddenly all the anger fades. I hug her. We'll figure it out, baby. You're not alone. Weeks go by. Appointments, silent dinners. Gossip starts around school. Parents whispering, teachers giving her looks. I keep my head high, but every night I hear her crying quietly through the wall. One day, the test results come back. The envelope felt heavier than it should. My hands were shaking as I opened it, my daughter staring at me with red eyes and my husband sitting across the table in complete silence, his jaw tight, his knuckles white. The air was so thick you could slice it. I looked down at the paper, the words swimming in front of my eyes before they finally made sense. It's Marcus. I whispered it. But it hit the room like thunder. My daughter burst into tears, the kind that come from somewhere deep, raw, and tired. My husband leaned back in his chair, rubbed his face, and said quietly, well, at least we got an answer. I wanted to feel relief, but all I felt was exhaustion. I called Marcus's mom that same evening. My voice was trembling when I said it. She didn't even sound surprised, just sighed, long and heavy, and said, all right, if it's my boy, he's gonna step up. He ain't running from this. For the first time in weeks, I thought maybe, just maybe, we could all start breathing again. The next few days were strange, quiet, awkward. Then one afternoon, the doorbell rang, and there he was. Marcus. Standing there on my porch, hoodie half zipped, holding a grocery bag like it was peace offering. Hi, Miss Tasha, he said, eyes darting everywhere but mine. He pulled out a bag of hot Cheetos, a Sprite, and a half-melted chocolate bar. For her. You know, cravings? My daughter smiled for the first time in forever. I wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. I just nodded, let him in. He sat there for maybe 15 minutes, said barely 10 words, then left. But he came back the next day, and the next. At first, I thought he just felt guilty, but then I saw him sitting with her during doctor appointments, scrolling nervously through his phone in the waiting room, trying to look calm while sweating like he was on trial. The nurses looked at him with that soft, pitying smile that says, "Bless his heart, at least he's here." And honestly, I started feeling that too. He wasn't perfect, but he was trying. One Saturday, I came home to find Marcus in the living room surrounded by wooden planks, screws, and confusion. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Building the crib," he said proudly. "You ever built a crib before?" I asked. "No, ma'am, but YouTube has." I just sighed and walked away. 20 minutes later, I heard a loud crash and a quiet, "Oh no." When I peeked in, he was sitting on the floor holding a hammer like it betrayed him. "Miss Tasha, you got a screwdriver?" By evening, that crib was standing, a little crooked, one leg shorter than the rest, but standing. My daughter came in, saw it, and smiled so wide I almost forgot everything we'd been through. For a second, it felt like maybe this wouldn't destroy us after all. Then came that day. I will never forget that day. I was upstairs folding laundry when I heard my daughter scream my name. I ran down, heart racing. She was sitting on her bed, clutching her phone like it was burning her hands. "What happened?" I yelled. She turned the screen toward me. It was Marcus, on TikTok, dancing in his room, holding a baby bottle, mouthing the lyrics to some stupid rap song. The caption read, "When you're 16 and accidentally become a dad, oops." I swear, my soul left my body, took a quick walk, and came back wearing boxing gloves. "He did what?" I grabbed the phone, almost broke it in half. My husband came running in, asking what happened. I showed him. He stared, his jaw tightening, and said through his teeth, "He posted that publicly?" "Oh, we're fixing this now," I said, already calling Marcus. He picked up, all casual. "Hey, ma'am." "Boy, do you think this is content?" Silence. Then a nervous chuckle. "Ma'am, it was just a joke. A joke. You think pregnancy is a TikTok trend? Delete that mess before I personally turn you into a viral cautionary tale." I didn't hang up. I just yelled until he did. The video was gone 15 minutes later, but not before 20,000 people saw it. Screenshots, comments, classmates sending it around. My daughter sat there sobbing, whispering, "Everyone's gonna know now." I sat next to her, the anger slipping away, leaving only love. People will talk, baby. They always do. But they don't decide who you are. You do. She looked up, eyes red, and said, "I want to finish school. I'm not giving up." My throat closed. "Then we'll get you there." The next few months moved in slow motion. Doctor appointments, long silences at dinner, gossip everywhere. I could feel the eyes at the grocery store. Parents pretending to check in, but really just fishing for details. Teachers treating my daughter like she was a fragile glass ornament about to break. Some days she came home early, walking fast, hoodie up, pretending not to hear whispers. One night, I found her sitting on the porch, staring at the stars, hands resting on her belly. "You okay?" I asked softly. She shrugged. "Feels like everyone looks at me different now." I sat beside her, took her hand. "They see what's loud, baby. But strength is quiet. You got more of it than you think." She didn't answer, just leaned her head on my shoulder, and for the first time in a long time, we sat in peace. Then the day came. Hospital lights too bright, the smell of antiseptic and fear. 12 hours of labor, her screaming, me holding her hand, Marcus pacing like a lost puppy. The nurse said, "Honey, you okay?" And he whispered, "I think my soul left my body." 10 minutes later, it did, because the moment he saw that baby crown, he fainted flat out on the floor. The nurse stepped over him to hand me my grandbaby. I laughed and cried at the same time. Lord, this boy's allergic to responsibility. But when I looked down at that tiny baby, pink, squirming, alive, my heart cracked open. My daughter was crying, whispering, "He's here." "He sure is," I said. "And you did that." When they placed that baby in her arms, I saw something in her eyes that I hadn't seen in months. Peace. The chaos, the fear, the shame, all washed away by the weight of that little heartbeat. In that moment, I knew we'd survived the storm. The weeks after were messy, but healing. Marcus started showing up every morning, learning to change diapers, getting puked on, showing up to school dead tired but proud. His mom helped too. Dropped off food, babysat when my daughter needed to rest. My husband, who once swore he'd never forgive Marcus, started fixing the crooked crib, humming while he worked. Sometimes I'd catch him holding the baby, rocking slowly, whispering, "You're lucky, little man. You got a family that loves you even when we don't know how to act right." Every night, I'd sit on the porch with that baby in my arms, rocking slowly, the world quiet for once. The streetlights flickered on, the crickets hummed, and I'd think about how something so messy, so painful, could still give us something this beautiful. Marcus changed too. More than anyone expected. He got a job at the car wash, started saving money, stopped skipping school. One afternoon, he came over with a folded paper in his hand. "Ms. Tasha, can you read this?" It was a plan. College ideas, job notes, scribbles about saving for diapers and college funds. He said quietly, "I just don't want to be the guy everyone laughs about on TikTok. I want to do better." I looked at him, really looked, and for the first time I saw a man, not a boy. "Then do better," I said. "You already started." He smiled, small and nervous, but real. Life didn't become perfect. It was still loud, still chaotic. Some nights, the baby screamed till dawn. Some mornings, my daughter cried from exhaustion. But she kept going. She re-enrolled in school with a special program for teen moms. I took a part-time job so I could watch the baby. My husband drove Marcus to school, to work, to doctor appointments. Called himself Grand Uber. We argued, we laughed, we cried. But we were a family again. A loud, imperfect, beautiful family. Months later, I found my daughter sitting in the nursery, the baby asleep on her chest, the soft lamplight turning her into something almost sacred. She looked up and said, "Mom, do you think people can change because of love?" I smiled. "They better, or none of us stand a chance." She laughed quietly. "I used to think love was butterflies and flowers. Now it's diapers, sleepless nights, and forgiving people even when you don't want to." I nodded. That's real love, baby. The kind that stays when everything else falls apart.